All right, guys. Thanks to Mary. She gave us so much of the why and really is helping us to make connections. A big part of this work learning today is we didn't want to give you new stuff. So let's talk about some of the research behind what really works in schools and what really works for student achievement. And I'm going to ground the work for you today. So let's do a little grounding of the work. First, let's get our nerd on. Let's talk about John Hattie. So, most of you have probably heard about John Hattie and his effect sizes. So, his work comes from the research of synthesizing over 1,600 meta analyses. And what those are research studies about other research studies. So, there was 95,000 studies that were involved in the work that he did. And y'all, these studies looked at things that work in schools to affect student achievement for only over 300 million students. 300 million. I don't think we can argue with the fact that he figured out some things that work. That's a lot of kids, right? So how we can kind of interpret effect sizes is if you see an effect size of zero point 0.2 or smaller, that means it doesn't have much effect. A 0.5 is, man, it's about medium. But a zero point 0.8 or larger effect size tells us that it has a great effect. So we can deduce, that's a big word, that higher the effect size is, the greater the expected magnitude of the effect that will be on our student outcomes or student achievement. Now, this is not new information. This is things you know. So we want you to just take a minute and pause this video. And I want you to look at these 6 effect sizes that are up here on the screen. We've got learning targets. You guys know those. Deliberate practice, being really intentional and very focused in the learning. Teacher clarity. Mary talked about that, right? Clarity is kind, and that's what so much of this learning is about today. Direct instruction, giving those kids that explicit modeling, not lecturing all day, don't get it confused with that, but giving our students that direct instruction and direct modeling for that chunk or skill that they need to learn. Teacher credibility. The way your students look at you and how credible they think you are helps them to drink your Kool Aid. It helps them to really believe in you and to believe in themselves. And then one of my favorite ones is collective teacher efficacy. Collective, how we work collaboratively. Those expectations that we have as a campus for teachers to know that their day-to-day work has a significant impact on student performance. And another piece of this is that teachers believe that other factors like home life, socioeconomic status, even student motivation, um, those aren't going to affect poor achievement. That the teacher, and our collective effectiveness as teachers is what truly can impact student achievement. And so I want you to take just a few minutes, pause this video, look at these 6 strategies, and I want you to rate them from highest effect size to lowest effect size. What do you think? Or if you're sitting there with your collaborative team, which I hope you are, what do you guys think is the highest effect on student achievement down to the lowest effect based on these 6 strategies? So hopefully you took some time to do that, and hopefully you kind of put them in order. Hopefully you didn't cheat and look at any answers on any slides or Google it. So this next slide shows you those effect sizes. Take just a minute to look at those. How'd you do? Did you get some of them in order? I hope that you did. I hope that you kind of saw and heard the passion in my voice when I talked about some of these, because y'all know I get real excited of which one of these has a great effect size. I hope that you notice that they all have a pretty good one, right? That 0.8 or higher is pretty evident in most of these. And even the medium effect size, we see some here, but these are some of those things that we do already that really impact student achievement. So we're not asking you to do something new. We really want to get better at the things we already do. We're really zooming in on what really impacts student instruction, because y'all, we know that time is of the essence right now. Um, time with our families, time planning, time doing all the things that we do to try to help our students at school and our children at home, and all of the directions that we're pulled in right now. So much is being asked of you. So if we can figure out those things that really work and focus on those, that's what we want to do. I also want to bring up something that I always share little stories, personal stories. But my son is in third grade, and he has ADHD. I know many of you guys have those type of children too, right? Teachers' kids seem to have that a lot. And ADHD has a negative 0.90 effect size. So if we think about, Hattie talks about those effect sizes that are a 1 and higher could provide students almost a year's worth of growth if teachers do those things. So what that means is my child, because of what his condition, because of his brain working differently than other children's, could actually be a year behind if these kind of strategies aren't put into the classroom for him. Thank goodness they are. Thank goodness he's at a Plano school, and thank goodness his teacher does so much of this every day to support him. But I know that we don't want to be doing things that are going to negatively affect our students. We want to focus on the things that will grow them. We want sometimes that means that we kind of have to stop putting the square peg in the round hole, right? We've got to really figure out what works and what doesn't and focus on those things. So let's look a little deeper at how we can get better at the things we're already doing. Let's see what a powerful tool learning targets can be during effective classroom instruction. And we're going to look at this through the eyes of a kindergarten classroom. So you guys are going to fishbowl in a minute. That means you're going to sit on the outside and you are going to watch a kindergarten classroom. You're going to watch how learning targets affect the learning and instruction that happens in this classroom. You're going to see clarity. You're going to see engagement. You're going to see excitement. You're going to see focused and intentional instruction. And those are all the things that we want you to watch for as you watch this video. But we really want you to focus on these 3 questions. We want you to observe, what'd you see? What do you see happening with the teacher and the students? What are their actions? And then we want you to see, what teacher actions did you observe that help create a sense of clarity for the learning? And finally, we want you to think about, what student actions did you observe that showed students knew what they were supposed to be learning? Now, there's a few things I need to give you caution on before you watch. This is a kindergarten classroom, and I know that we don't all teach kindergarten, but one thing about that is, and y'all know Beachy loves kindergarten, I kind of feel like if the 5 and 6-year-olds can do this, anybody can, right? If we can do this with our youngest students, we can definitely make this happen with our older kids. I also know that some of you kindergarten teachers are going to start watching this video, and it is during a writing lesson, and you're going to go, that's not one of our standards, and you're right, it's not. This is a video from a school that's in a different state. But the point is not that they're teaching something that is not one of our TEKS. The point is the way that the lesson is organized, the way that it's clear, the way that our students really are able to take ownership of what they're learning, and the way that engagement happens because of those things. So what you're going to do is you're going to leave me, and thanks for listening today, listening and learning with me. And you're going to go back to your Google Classroom, and you're going to click on this video. It's a little over 3 minutes. It's not too long. And while you're watching this video, I want you to remember these 3 questions, and then take some time to think through them. You can write them down. You can think about them in your brain. Collaborate with your team if you guys are there learning together. We really want you to think about, what did you observe the teacher and students doing during this video? What teacher actions did you observe that helped create a sense of clarity for the learning? And what student actions did you observe that showed students knew what they were supposed to be learning? So I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you get some great ideas from it, and I hope you enjoy the learning the rest of the day. Thanks for being with us today.